Hi guys, welcome to my channel. You might know me from my Instagram at Saturn Revolution. Today we're going to talk about purpose. And this is because I am someone who lives a life that feels aligned to myself, feels aligned to who I am. And in order to get there, yeah, that's like my vision board. I learned certain things that they don't really teach you in school, you know how it is. Certain things that maybe would be counterintuitive actually to what you are learning in society that purpose is or that you're supposed to be doing. So I don't want to gatekeep and I want to share it with you. These are some truths that have been revealed to me through my actions and through my own life, as an example, but also through and with the help of astrology, I was able to confirm these truths. So I was able to actually understand them on a deeper level. And also from 2000 astrology readings or so that I've done in the past 3 years. Here's what you need to know about purpose. Your purpose is not your career. And that's not what we're being taught. I feel like a lot of the times we are being taught that our purpose in life, even if it's not called this way, but we're being prepared or it feels like we're born to have a job. Like literally it feels like we are born to go out there and get a career path and figure out what that is. And then also, if we're lucky enough, make sure that it's a career that we're passionate about. If not, we're going to be suffering or whatever, you know. I just feel that there is a lot of pressure to find your purpose within society. A lot of the times I do get readings that are related to purpose, and people are like, what is my purpose? I have been working in this field and I don't feel good here, and now I want to try this and so on. And then my reading is like, you're searching in the wrong place. Like, if you think that your career is your purpose, then take it from me because I learned from experience. You're going to get to a career that you like or that you want to do. You're going to reach that point and you're still not going to feel fulfilled. And this is from someone who feels very aligned with their career, someone who being a soldier for me has been the biggest blessing in my life. And I feel constantly passionate about it. There's obviously moments when I don't feel inspired, like everyone, but I always have a different thing to do because I'm my own boss, right? And I can create whatever I want. And that for me is freedom. And that's important to know because I'm going to talk about that too. But even though I do have this job that I love, last year, I, after quitting my job, I quit my job 2 years ago. Last year, I spent the whole year isolated working on my business, working on my Instagram page, making it work, being successful with it, growing my following, and so on. And I was doing what I was loving, but I was not fulfilled because that was not everything that was there. And I had this initial inner feeling that I always need to be working or that because I love my job, I need to put a lot of effort into it. And because I'm passionate about it, like I don't need to have breaks because it's my passion, all of those things, that's not how it works. And I never really labeled my job as my purpose, but I've learned along the way that it's not. Because the more I was immersing myself into it, the more isolated I was, and the less inspired I was, and the more I was feeling disconnected. Especially this year, I had to learn how to take a step back. But that year was very useful. Even though it was not done ideally, it was very useful because obviously, in order to find balance, you're going to have imbalance at first, right? So it really helped me to put a really clear routine in place. And I do have that now. It helped me to set up certain systems and to create a business in a certain way. But then I realized that this is not the way that I wanted to go long term because I got to this point where I was like, I was realizing that my job doesn't matter that much as I thought because I was having it and I was like, it doesn't, why isn't it still making me fulfilled? And that's because I was putting so much pressure on myself that this is supposed to be my purpose, and that's not what you have to do, right? I started to feel this weird thing like now I have my dream job. What is next? I literally felt like I have no other purpose, right? I literally felt like there's nothing left for me. Like I don't know what else I can do in my life because I already have like a job that I like. Like, what is my next goal? Like, what do I want in life? Like, I had no idea because I put my all into my career. I put my all into if this thing works out, then my life is great. And that's where we get stuck in a loop. And that's where it's being sold to us, the fact that our purpose is the end goal, and then the end goal happens when you get a fulfilling career. Because when you get there, you realize that's not how it is. So I'm telling you now, you don't have to get there to feel purposeful, actually. What I started to do next was I started to redefine a little bit what my business is, how I want to show up. I started to focus more on certain systems that helped me make my business more efficient and gave me more personal time rather than that made me work more. Okay. I said no to things that felt like they were too much. And I started to take a step back and I focused more on my personal life, on my relationship, on my other goals, my other hobbies, on things that were spending time with family, like cooking, like other things that were not related to my job, especially being in nature, going out more, meeting with people, those kinds of things. And right now, I feel like I'm on the other side. I'm like, I feel like really, really good because I really spent the past few months allowing myself to make mistakes, allowing myself to try different things here and there. And now I am at a point where I feel that I feel inspired again within my career. I feel like, okay, I can see now what motivates me within my career. And the reason I feel that way is because I don't see my career as my purpose. What I see as my purpose is experiences, different life experiences, different expansive experiences. And that happens with getting out of my comfort zone. And that gets me to the second point, which is your purpose is not within your comfort zone. So your purpose is never going to unfold if you do the same things every day. Your purpose is never going to unfold. You're never going to feel purposeful within the same energy that you've been focusing on and on and on. You're going to feel purposeful when you allow yourself to step out of your comfort zone, when you allow yourself to try something new, to try something different. How do I know this? Is because in astrology, the South Node is our comfort zone, right? Um, and the North Node is our purpose. So that's literally there. They're different. They're always in opposing signs, which means that your comfort zone is always going to be the opposing energy of your uncomfortable zone. But your uncomfortable zone is where your purpose lies, basically. It doesn't lie in your comfort zone. So identifying your South Node and understanding where your comfort zone is, and then connecting with your North Node to understand your purpose really helps you to bridge that gap between the two of them. My South Node is in my third house, and my North Node is in ninth house. The ninth house, so my purpose is related to the ninth house is travel, is I think astrology just helps us have like a language for purpose, but it doesn't really have to be defined as much, though. I think also that. But it does help, right? The ninth house has to do with travel. It has to do with teaching, learning. It has to do with different experiences, right? So, as someone who has the purpose in the ninth house, I started to connect more with those kind of experiences. I know that for me specifically, with a North Node in a ninth house, travel really helps me step into that purpose really quickly, but there can be a lot of things that help you. The first example is when I first quit my job. Before doing that, I just knew that I wanted to change. I knew that I wanted to quit my job, but I didn't have the guts to do it. And instead, I just went on vacation. And as I told you, travel energy helps trigger my purpose. I also went to my North Node line. So in astrocartography, if you know about that, which helps with that too. But in vacation, I was in Portugal, I got this excitement, this sense of when I'm going home, I don't have any fear now. Like I can go home and quit my job. I mean, I already had my astrology page, but I was doing it full time. So I had that kind of safety net, although I didn't really have a plan. So when I came back home, I just quit my job because I did something different. I did something to get specifically myself out of the same environment that I was in because I was going to my job, to my work every day. And I went to a place that really inspired me. It doesn't mean you have to travel to get in your purpose, but you have to connect to at least one theme of the house you have your North Node in. That was it for me. Like when I did that experience, I just felt, okay, I know what the next step is, even if I didn't know exactly how to get there, and I just took the leap of faith. Another example is when I recently this year, I told you I felt like I'm lacking inspiration, and I had this feeling like I want to travel alone. It was a very strong feeling. I'm a very intuitive person. My South Node is in Pisces, so your South Node is always also going to be your gifts. I felt like I can really want to travel by myself. But again, I was scared. So I did it in a way that didn't feel scary. I actually traveled somewhere pretty close. I went to Berlin and it was just like a few days, but it was by myself. I met people there, but it was still by myself, and I built trust with myself. So that was really important for me. And when I came back, I really felt like everything fell into place in the sense that I really felt like my life feels fulfilled now. Like my life really feels good and it feels fulfilling. So that's one way to connect with your purpose, to connect with anything related to your North Node house. And another insight that I want to give is that your purpose is a feeling. Your purpose is not a job, not an external reality, not an external goal, nothing outside of you. It's a feeling. Why I'm saying that? Because in astrology, the North Node is connected to the moon. The North Node and South Node, they are the nodes of the moon. The moon is our emotions, which means that our purpose, the North Node, is an extension of our emotions. So when you identify what that emotion is that you want to step into, and you step into that and you do things that make you feel more of that way, you basically step into your purpose and everything aligns. For me, this was freedom. When I was in my previous job, I knew I wanted to be free. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to feel free. I gave myself the freedom by traveling somewhere. This year, I knew that I wanted to feel free again. I didn't want to feel isolated within the same environment. I gave myself that freedom by traveling somewhere alone and showing myself I can do it, even if I'm in a relationship, even if I have a job. Like I can do whatever I want, basically. And that is the feeling that I'm seeking. It's freedom. Maybe for you, it's something else, depending on where you have this within your chart. But yeah, those were certain topics that I wanted to share when it comes to purpose. And this also comes from the fact that I'm launching my astrology membership and my first astrology membership, and I'm super excited about it. And I feel like I found this new way of living my life that is very creative. And I stepped into this creativity literally by stepping a little bit aside from my job and understanding that my purpose can literally be dancing. My purpose can be being with family, being with friends. My purpose can be exploring the world and experiencing different things and different beliefs and meeting with people from all over the world. That's very ninth house, right? Where my purpose is. So if you want to know exactly how this feeling looks like for you, how you can also integrate your career within your purpose, right? Because I know I mentioned career stuff here. So I'm not saying your career cannot have a part of your purpose. That is not the main thing. Your feeling is the main thing. Through your career, actually wanting to feel seen, right? Maybe that's a feeling you're seeking. And that's when a good career that makes you feel seen can come through, okay? But centering a feeling as being a purpose changes the game. Like for me, it really did. And I have created within this membership a step-by-step guide on how to connect with this feeling yourself too. And it's really accessible. And it is because I just want everyone to know about this. So if you're interested, the link is in bio. Once you join the membership, you're going to get access to all the membership stuff. I also have in-depth astrology posts there, but I also have this guided, you can look at it as a mini course. I don't know, it's just separate videos where I explain it to you. Okay, step one, step two, and so on, how to shift from your South Node into your North Node while keeping your South Node gifts and integrating your career as well. So hope to see you there within the Gates of Saturn membership. The gates are open right now for you to step into new knowledge. And once you're there, you're not going to want to look back.